I was kind of undecided what I was going to talk about, and then Leslie, Luann, I'm sorry, said she didn't want to hear all the gross stuff, so I kind of. Yeah. Actually, the story I originally wanted to tell you was about my mother. A great woman, kind woman. She gave birth to 10 children, 9 of us that lived, and so I understand about eating fast. But she was a smoker, like most people were back then, and she smoked menthols. And over the years, I was 8 of 9, so it was like 2 families, the first 5 and then the second 4, the last 4. There was like 2 sets of parents, like the energetic parents that did stuff, and then there we go, old tired parents that said, honey, why don't you go out to the store and get me some cold cuts? And I'm like, but Mom, I'm only 15. She goes, that's okay. I don't have a driver's license. That's all right, no problem. You go ahead and get those. Oh, no, I'm not going to say no. I get to take the car. But over the years, she developed emphysema. She'd wake up every morning hacking her lungs up. Not a pretty sound to have to listen to for like 10, 15 minutes at a time. But it wasn't the cigarettes, it wasn't the menthol, it was the girl's perfume and our, at that time, spray deodorant, our hairspray. That's what made her cough in the morning. So, she, progressively got sicker, but this woman, I don't know, she was like superwoman. She could have died like 4 or 5 times and like they saved her and she came back. But finally, I had moved to Florida when I was 17 and both my parents were sick. In 91, I came back. My father had died and my mother had to go in the hospital after about a week. When I was home, she had to go in the hospital. And I decided to visit her on Saturday night. Her sister and brother-in-law were there, and I was the last one to visit her, and I could see the gray pallor of death on her, and didn't really want to acknowledge it, but it was there. So I was going to go back. I was in a quandary because I'd just come back up and I'd met some people, and I was going to meet them at church, but yet I really wanted to go see my mom that morning. So I did what I said I was going to do and try to go meet these people, which I never met them. I didn't find them and never heard from them again. But in the meantime, my mother did pass that morning. So I beat myself up, a little bit, saying, she was sick. I knew she was sick, and why didn't I go see her? But then I realized that my mother wasn't going to die in front of any one of her children, and it was either all 9 or none. So she chose the none, and she went, and it was her time. She wasn't well, and she, had lived her life. But, in my grief, she came to me in a dream, and I was, of course, crying and sobbing, I miss you. And then she said, it was time for her to go. And then she just blossomed into this beautiful angel. Dark curly hair, a robe of pure white, a gold band around her waist. I said, don't go, don't leave me. And she said, don't you know, I'm with you always. And she left. But she left me with that message. And she also leaves me pennies. I find random pennies around, and I just know they're from her. So when I see random pennies, I know my mom's thinking of me, and she's looking out for me, and she's always with me. And this wasn't the original story I was going to tell. Actually, it was the original story I was going to tell, but then I was going to go gross on you. But I decided to go with this story because it's the one I felt inclined to tell. Thank you.
Yes, Jennifer. Really
Thank you.